Hey friends, today we're going to talk about why would anyone want to camp out at a Walmart. There's actually some surprisingly good reasons to work these into your van or RV trips. We're going to talk about those right now. Okay, with budget travel, money is important, but money isn't the only thing. A lot of times things have to simply do with convenience, making things easier for you. Now, if you have some type of RV, a really stealth camper van, it's easier than doing it in a minivan, although it can be done as long as you can block out the windows, and I'm going to do videos about how to do that easily. As far as reasons that Walmarts can work a lot for you, here are some of those. If you're traveling from one point to another, you're doing a lot of driving. I prefer back roads. I really don't like doing interstates unless I'm just trying to get past an area I've already explored and get to another area. So you jump off an interstate, or you're on a 2-lane road that's running through real towns, and there's a Walmart. Of course, there's better places to stay. You could go find a campground, but there's reasons that finding a campground on that particular day may not work for you. One of those being that you're traveling kind of late, because most campgrounds have a 10 o'clock shutoff. They don't want people coming in at all areas, all times of the night, and disturbing everyone else. So a lot of these places actually close their gate. Nobody's in after 10 o'clock. So if you're out past that, that limits where you can go. That campground's not even an option for you. The second thing is a lot of these campgrounds just aren't convenient, especially if you're in an area you're not familiar with. Me, I don't travel with reservations. I don't know where I'm going to end up. I don't want to be pushed to have to get to a certain place at a certain time in case I find something I want to do and enjoy in between. So you're now risking going to a campground and not being able to even get a spot once you're there. The third thing is due to signage. When you jump off the road and you see a sign to Whatchamacallit State Park, you don't know whether that state park is 2 miles away or 20 miles away unless you're taking the time to try to pull out your phone or your computer and do research. And sometimes you're not going to have cell service or internet service or the ability to do that. So you're taking it on a wing and a prayer of how far it's going to be to get to that state park or national forest or campground. You don't know how far it is. You don't know how long it's going to take to get there. You don't know what the roads are going to be like. So you're just going to burn a lot of time, and you're going to burn a lot of extra gas if you're in a bigger rig and with something that is only going to get 10 miles a gallon. And by the time you go 20 miles out of your way each way, you burn another $4 in 4 gallons in gas, another $10 in gas, or whatever gas is at the moment. So all of these things are reasons why sometimes it's just more convenient to jump off there and spend the evening at a Walmart. Now, not every Walmart will let you do this. And in another video, I'm going to talk about why and why the number of these that you can do this is decreasing. But everybody says, hey, go in, ask the store manager, blah, blah, blah. Basically, if I don't see a sign that says no overnight parking or no RVs specifically, I assume that I can stay there. RVs, a lot of times, these people are going to run their generators all night. So if that noise bothers you, being too close to them may be a problem. The second thing, you don't want to get too close to them, because if you're sitting there in a van and you don't have these things and you're trying to open the windows and get some airflow going through with a fan or whatever, you're potentially going to be sucking fumes from those vehicles into your van. So you don't want to be too close right on top of somebody if you're doing this. Another thing, depending on where it's at, you want to kind of look at how the traffic is flowing in and out off of the roads and how most of the traffic goes through the parking lot of a Walmart if you're staying there, because you don't want to be right where the main traffic is and have all of that extra noise. But sometimes where everybody's parked is over near a road, maybe it's a side road, there's going to be a little traffic, but generally, like anywhere else, by about 11 o'clock at night, that traffic will die down and there's not going to be very much of that. Downsides is sometimes you're just going to have some excess noise to deal with depending on where you are if you're staying there, and you're not going to know until that time comes. And you end up with a couple of little punk kids that decide they're going to be out at 1 o'clock in the morning and revving their engines and squealing their tires, and as they go up and down these side roads and down the street and maybe through the parking lot of a Walmart. That may bother you. It bothers me sometimes, but then I remember I used to be that punk kid, so I kind of let it go. And generally they'll make noise and they'll do their thing for a few minutes and then they'll wander on to a different area or go home. So it's really not that big a deal. Again, how well this works for you, a lot of it is going to depend on how heavy or light of a sleeper that you happen to be. For me, it works out well. It saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of aggravation from going and having to find another campground. And this is why you want to be as self-contained as you can possibly be. The upside for Walmart letting this go on is we're already there and we're probably going to go in and we're going to spend lots of money as we restock food and different things that we need. So done right, it can be a win-win for everyone. So for those of you that have stayed in Walmart parking lots before, I'd like to hear your opinions. I'd like to hear your experiences. If you haven't done it and you have any questions, feel free to put those down in the comment section below. I'll try to give you a little more detail on something you may be interested in, and we'll talk soon.